Hello and welcome to Let's Play Disgaea, Hour of Darkness. This game is the first in the Disgaea series, released in the United States in 2003 by Nippon Ichi Software, and this was basically the breakthrough hit for them, as it was, I believe, only their second game released here, the first being Rhapsody, a musical adventure on the PS1, and this gave them a small amount of fame in America, and caused them to start bringing over all of their other games, or most of them anyway, including the sequels to this. This is the PS2 version as played on the PS3, and this is my preferred version of the game. There are two other versions, one for the PSP and one for the DS, and I may talk about those some other time, but for the time being, all you need to know is the original version of the game. So let's get it underway.
King Krzyzewskoi, the mighty ruler of the Netherworld. His long reign came to an abrupt end as the news of his death spread throughout the Dark Land. Ambitious demons rose one after another to seize the opportunity. And thus began the age of turbulence and anarchy. 2 years later,
Prince, wake up! This brat just won't wake up. Well, if that's the case, there's only one thing left to do.
What fool dares awaken me, the great Laharl?
Prince! I'm glad you're still alive!
Who said I was dead? I was just taking a nap. Anyways, why are all those weapons behind you?
Well, I was having a hard time waking you up.
Are you sure you weren't trying to kill me instead?
No, I mean, yes. I just wanted to wake you up.
Whatever. So, what is it? You better have a good reason for waking me up.
Oh, yeah. Big news. Your father, King Krzyzewskoi, has died.
He what? When?
2 years ago.
Wait a second. So, you're telling me that I've been sleeping for over 2 years?
Yep.
Yup? Why didn't you wake me up earlier?
Excuse me, but what do you think I've been doing all this time? The Netherworld has gone to hell while you were sleeping. It's not my fault if some other demon steals the title of Overlord.
What? Have they forgotten whose title they're trying to steal? How bold of them! I shall show no mercy, for I am Laharl, the rightful heir to the throne!
Your humble vassal Etna will accompany you.
Episode 1, Prince of the Netherworld.
And thus we start the game. So to summarize what happened, we are Laharl, Prince of the Netherworld, son of King Krzyzewskoi, the Overlord, who, during Laharl's 2-year-long nap, which he did not intend to take, his father has passed away. And now, basically, the title of Overlord, is up for grabs, and looks like he's gonna have to show people just what they're trying to accomplish. So, right now we've only got 2 party members, Laharl and Etna. As you can see, Laharl's pretty good right now. The armor he has equipped is the Imperial Seal, which increases all of his stats. So let's unequip that and see what happens. So, yeah, a bit lower, but as you can see, even without the Imperial Seal, he is looking a bit better than his vassal, Etna, who is the other character we have right now. She comes with a spear and an amulet, which just raises her defense a little. Right now, Laharl is definitely a much better fighter than Etna, but Etna herself isn't too bad. We start in the castle of the Overlord, and we've got some vassals here. So what was supposed to be a relatively short rest for Laharl ended up going to a two-year power nap. Looks like nobody really respects Laharl. Your vassals are level 300, while you yourself are only level 1. Do not think picking a fight with them would be a wise decision. So, we'll go check out that dimensional gate in a bit. Sounds like we've got a video game tutorial coming up. Anyways, over here is Longinus. He is a legendary spear of great power, but he doesn't want to help us right now. But he will tell us about weapons. Well, since we've got a sword and a spear, let's ask him about it. That last thing he said there is not quite correct. Swords are actually far and away one of the most powerful melee weapons in the game. Though the SP cost, that is pretty high, so he is right there. Let's ask about the spear. Spears are probably my least favorite weapon type in this game. They have significantly lower power than the other melee weapons, and I think they're only slightly stronger than the weakest melee weapon, which are fists, and the benefit that the spear has of being able to attack from 2 pounds away isn't nearly as useful as the benefits of the fist, and it doesn't really have as good techniques either. So, over here we've got Rose and Queen. Sylvia here sells us weapons. So she's just telling us there that certain characters favor certain weapons, and we can see that with their ranking and weapon mastery. Now, I could buy a stronger weapon for my characters right here, like a new sword, but what I'm going to get is a longbow, which is the most powerful bow that we have available at the moment, and I'm going to give that to Laharl. The reason I'm going to give that to Laharl is because he has an A rank with bows, so his experience with bows will rise far faster than anyone else that we can get access to at this point in the game. And I want him to get to bow level 3, because when we get to bow level 3, well, we unlock something. I suppose I should go over bows. Bows are a pretty weak weapon in this game. They have some interesting skills that can inflict status ailments, but their damage is determined by the average of the attack stat and the hit stat. And trying to bolster 2 stats to get your damage really high is much harder than just trying to bolster 1 stat like you would for a sword or an axe. This is the Rose and Queen's armor and item shop. They sell armor and miscellaneous items, from healing items to certain other stuff like stealing hands, which allow us to steal items. Let's see, this is plein air. We cannot go to the assembly. This lady is pretty pointless throughout the entire game. That's all she'll ever tell you. This is the hospital. You do not get healed between levels in the game. You actually have to go to the hospital to heal up. Because I took that Imperial Seal off of Laharl, it actually lowered his HP and his SP, but it's not too expensive to recover that. And as we heal ourselves, we can claim prizes. The bottom value there, that stands for deceased, and that goes up when we revive characters. Hello, zombie. Bringing a demon is pretty cool. What do you do? Looks like this can take us to the item world, but we can't go there yet. So you can save anywhere you want when you're in the Overlord's castle, but once you enter the field of battle, you do not get that option, so be sure to save frequently. Suppose should just also go over a couple things. So like I said, each character favors certain weapons with their weapon masteries. As you can see, Laharl favors a very large range of melee weapons from fists, swords, spears, and axes, and he also favors a ranged weapon with the bow. However, my preferred weapon is for Laharl is easily the sword. Swords are just very powerful. He has good mastery with them, and his skills synergize well with it. And when I say his skills, main characters like Laharl and Etna gain their own unique attack skills as they level up. So Laharl can be much more effective than a generic unit created and given a sword. As you can see, Etna is much more specialized. She only likes spears and axes to the same level that Laharl likes his 3 more weapons, and she only gets B ranks and various other weapons. Not that B ranks are bad, but A ranks do allow you to level them up faster. And the reason you want to level up your weapon mastery is because you get new skills as you level up the mastery, and the attack stat associated with the weapon gets multiplied as your weapon mastery goes up. Also, despite Etna doing some things with gunplay in the cutscene, she only has a C rank with guns in the game, and ironically, they're her worst weapon type. So, this is the Dimensional Gate. There isn't like an overworld or anything that you go through, you just go to the Dimensional Gate and it takes you to the various maps that you can do. Since we're just starting, we have to go through the tutorial map to figure out how to play. So let's get that underway.
Now then, time for a little warm-up. I feel a little rusty.
Prince, we've got company. How convenient.
Stray demons, huh? Allow me, Prince. You may be a little out of practice after your long slumber.
Don't worry, I came prepared. Come on, Pretty Squad! Get your butts out here now! So, Prince, what do you think of this Pretty Squad I hired? They're my loyal servants. They'll do anything I say.
Are you sure about that?
See? They're loyal.
Does it make sense to beat up your allies before a battle? Anyways, I think we've made those demons wait long enough already.
Hey, you're right. How nice of them to be so patient.
Yeah, that's considerate of them. To show my appreciation, I'll only beat them half to death.
Oh, you're so kind. If I were you, I'd have beat them all the way to death.
Kind? Stop that! That word gives me goosebumps! Damn it! I take it back! I'm gonna beat them all the way to death!
He's still a kid, so quick-tempered. It looks like carrying out my plan will be a lot easier than I thought.
Hmm? You say something!
Oh, nothing at all. So, what are your orders, Prince? You do remember how to fight, right?
Okay, so here's a little automated sequence to teach us how to do things in this game. So here we've got the base panel. The base panel is where all your characters start and where you take them out and you can move them from. You can have a maximum of 10 characters leave the base panel. Like Etna shows there, you can cancel actions by hovering over the person and pressing circle button. Well, this is giving us an idea of how to fight, but I don't think that's good positioning. Whatever. Anyway, once you input a command for your characters, you have to execute that action. And remember, when an action is executed, you cannot undo it. So, now that Laharl has done his attack, he actually cannot leave that position, because he's already moved, and he's already executed an action. And, whenever you execute action and you have multiple actions queued, just when you execute it, they will go off in the order you ordered them to go. And to end your turn, you just press triangle and end. Show of hands, who saw this coming? Oh. No, you seem to have little tricks up your sleeve. Perhaps not tricks up your sleeve, but you do seem like a tricky person. So we don't have anyone strong enough to really take out all these guys at once, but like Etna was saying, we can have our characters gang up on enemies and take them out much more effectively. And if you execute a normal attack while characters are standing next to each other, they will do a team attack. A combo is when you have multiple characters attack a single enemy, and each attack against that enemy causes the damage to rise. So, these little guys that Etna hired for us are Prinnies. And Prinnies are pretty bad. Fairly low stats and not a lot of HP or SP, not very strong techniques. But we don't really have anything else, so we'll let these guys do a little work for us. We'll have Kennel here go first since he has the highest attack stat. And hit Remiel. Now, Kennel is standing in the place that Laharl died before, but unlike that demonstration, we're not going to end the turn right there and let him die. We're going to have Laharl take out his bow and fire a shot. And the obvious advantage of the bow, of course, is that it's ranged. It can hit from up to 3 squares away. Let's try out a team attack. I don't think I can get my other Prinny up there, so let's see if this goes off. It has 60% chance, and we got it. So, as you can see, alone, Etna would have only been able to do 6 damage, but together with that Prinny, we were able to do a good 8, and hurt this guy much more. Now, as you can see, Ernst's chance to team attack with Biru here is 80% as opposed to the 60% that Etna had. This is because these guys are both Prinnies, so they get a boost to their team attack percentage. Let's see if this will kill. And there we go. Since we've used up everyone's actions, we just have to end our turn. So, let's put Etna over here. And move Laharl up to here. Only a 30% chance to attack, but after I put in the action for to be executed, I can move in these Prinnies, and they can get a chance to get into the team attack too, although I can't see their percentages unless I cancel the attack action. So, let's give it a shot. Laharl didn't get any team attacks there, but I had Etna attack to get an additional attack, and she finished it off. When you clear a map, your kills are totaled up to give you money. The unit of currency in the Disgaea world is hell, and you get an item. Within battle, we can check the list of items that are given to us based on how high our bonus rank goes. Now let's start the second tutorial. Now here's a mechanic we're getting introduced to that sets Disgaea apart slightly from other strategy RPGs. Lifting and throwing. So it's pretty self-explanatory what this does. Laharl is out of range to hit that guy, but I want him to hit him because he can do good damage to him. So let's have Etna go up, pick Laharl up, and now she can give him a good toss, and that'll extend how far he can go in a single turn. And this isn't the only application of lifting and throwing. We can also lift up and throw enemies. Either throw them into position, say we have a character ahead in the field, but a stronger character is behind them, we can lift up an enemy and throw them to the stronger character. Or we could lift up enemies and simply throw them out of range of our weaker characters. Edna did make a brief reference to a very important thing, though. Monster characters, like the monsters we're fighting and our Prinnies, cannot lift and throw, and this greatly reduces the amount of effectiveness they can be in battle. And also, Prinnies, when lifted and thrown, they explode. Yeah, it's pretty shitty. And that's one of the major reasons why Prinnies aren't particularly good. On the bright side, they only cost 1 health to revive and heal, so you don't have to worry too much about them putting a dent in your wall if they die a lot. For those who are wondering if the explosion of Prinnies does damage to enemies, it does. It does 50% of the Prinnies' remaining HP and damage to the enemies. So it looks like we can't really reach anyone right now, so we'll just, let's see, put Laharl up here. Actually, how far can this guy move? Yeah, this guy is a hobbit, and he is much stronger than these ghosts, so if I can, I want to keep Laharl out of his range. Let's see, that. Nope. So as you notice, you can attack your allies, and this generally isn't not a particularly good idea, but there is certain things that can happen if you attack your allies. So let's see, how far can that ghost move? Okay. To see an enemy's movement range, just hover over them and press X. Ghosts aren't particularly weak, so I'm not too worried about that guy getting a hit on Laharl. I could pick him up and throw him out of the way, but that would put Etna in the range of the attack, and as you can see, she has less HP and less defense. They went for a team attack here, so this will hurt a little, but as you can see, Laharl's got pretty good defenses, so he'll do fine. And he got a level up! Leveling up works like any other RPG, get experience, level up. What could be simpler? But there is a... so our weapon mastery went up, so now we've got a skill with the bow and arrow. The poison arrow hits for higher damage than our basic attack and can poison. So let's see if that works. Didn't get the poison, but that did do more damage than our regular attacks do. So let's see, get him up here, put him up here, and if we're lucky, we'll get a 4-way team attack. Only a 2-way. Not too bad though, more damage than we would do normally. Now, when a character participates in the team attack, that actually doesn't take up their action for the turn, so you can reposition them and have them do a different attack. Okay. Just a note though, if you move a character into a position that a character was standing before, you cannot cancel their movement unless you cancel the movement of the other person. And if that other person took their action, well, then that turn is done. And let's see what we can do to this hobbit. And when you end a turn, any actions you had queued up will just go off immediately. Let's have Laharl take a pot shot at this guy to finish him off. Have Etna do an attack here. Try to set up a team attack. Let's see what happens. This is a three-way team attack, so this should do pretty good damage. Now, because this is early in the game, we'll be using regular attacks quite a bit, but as our characters level up and gain skills, we're going to be using skills a lot more, because regular attacks are simply much weaker than skills. Edna's not getting too much experience, so I'm going to have her finish this guy off. Move this guy out of the way, since he's not needed for the kill. We'll execute that. Oh wow. So that thing that I got there, it said Nick in the corner. That was because my hit stat was fairly low, so I missed a threshold that would have given me a straight hit that would have done the most damage. On the brighter side, if my hit stat is really high, not only do I have a better chance of hitting the enemy, I also have a better chance of getting a critical hit. Since Laharl has a decent hit stat with his bow, he gets critical hits more often. Well, the bonus there was 7 experience points, so everyone gained 7 experience. And I think that might have just been enough to level up some of our prinnies, but we'll see in the next map. And I believe this is the final tutorial map. So here's another unique mechanic to Disgaea, the Geopanel system. Basically, whenever you see a colored field, it can be powered up with these things called geosymbols. And geosymbols carry a variety of effects. This one is not particularly good for us. This is enemy boost plus 50%, which means that to every single non-HP and SP stat, the enemies gain a 50% boost. So, how do we deal with that? Well, the symbol itself is what's giving the enemy boost. So, if we destroy it, we'll get rid of it. Another thing you can do is either toss it off the geofield, at which point it'll be completely useless and not do anything, or you can move the effect and toss it over to the red field. Since this is an enemy boost plus 50%, that doesn't do too much for us in terms of getting rid of the threat of the effect, since enemies in red fields just get it now. But since we moved it off a blue field, which is the same color as the geo symbol itself, we can destroy it, and that causes something interesting to happen. When you destroy a geosymbol on a field that is not the same color as it, it changes the field's color. Now the entire geo effect on the level is blue. So say we had a beneficial geosymbol to us, like say we had something that boosted the experience gain from enemy by 50%. Now the entire geo field would be affected with that. Hopefully one day we'll become a master of this concept. You can press select to turn the display of the geofield off, but that doesn't really do anything to help you, so I don't know why you would do it. So let's see, the blue field has a defense plus 50 effect, while the red field multiplies experience and hell by, or rather boosts it by 50%. So if we stand on the blue effect, we take significantly less damage. You know what? I'm gonna actually shoot over this guy and hit him like that. Now, the limitation of the poison arrow is that it has a set range. It can only shoot 3 spaces away from you, so I can't change that. It only ever works like that. As you can see, that little experience boost at the end of the map actually boosted Laharl up to level 3. Unfortunately, our other Prinnies did not get enough kills to actually reap the benefits of that. I'm not going to bother deploying them because I'd rather have Laharl and Etna get the experience here because I actually plan on using them. So what happened there is whenever you're hit with a normal attack, if you have a counter, as you can see Laharl has a little counter stat there, you will launch your own counter attack in return. This only applies for normal attacks though. With special attacks, you cannot counter those. Not in this game, anyway. So that guy is standing there. I can move to this blue panel and hit him 3 spaces away with the poison arrow. And Etna has actually gotten her first special, the Impaler. However, this attack attacks in front of her and requires to jump back 1 space, which unfortunately there's a ghost standing in the way, so we can't do that. So Etna's just going to have to hit with a normal attack. Alright, let's give it a shot.
Die.
Unfortunately, that was not able to kill, but we have these guys in reserve. Also, this guy is poisoned. Poison is pretty devastating. It reduces your HP by 20% every turn. So even if I'm unable to kill this guy this turn, the poison will kill him next turn, as poison damage can kill you in this game. There we go. And one of our Prinnies leveled up. That's not going to mean much for him. As you can see, those guys got critical hits, and unfortunately that caused Etna to die. It's not a huge issue though, because we can just go to the hospital to revive her. And besides, Laharl is plenty strong, so he can handle this by himself. But in the interest of making stuff go faster, we'll have our Prinnies lend a hand as well. Put those levels to work, guys. As you can see, this enemy moved to a defense plus 50 panel, so there is a slight chance that if I'm unlucky I won't be able to kill him, but not a huge one. There we go. 7 more experience that Etna is not going to get. This is for a mechanic that we're actually not going to get to in this video because we've been going on for a little while, so I think I'll let you guys go here. But we can go to a place called the Dark Assembly, and I'll explain that more in the next video. Yes, but before we do that, just make sure we can heal. Press the square button and you'll heal all your characters. And there we go. So, we'll save our game here and call it for a day. And thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you next time. Until then, have a nice day.